Okay, hey guys, this is Shadow916 here with Simon Knight. And now we're gonna be reading part 2. And happy Friday to you guys. So yeah, here we go with Laughing Jack's story. Yeah. Here we go. I forgot to mention that this Laughing Jack story is called Laughter. So yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that at the beginning that I first started last week. So here we go.
Chapter 6. You are sitting in your living room, looking through the window at all the commotion outside. Red and blue lights are everywhere. Police officers are searching through your house, your yard and neighborhood, trying to find Jack. You knew they wouldn't find him. Emily's talking to one of the police officers, telling her stories of events that happened a few hours ago. Your mother sat beside you, giving you a cold piece of cloth, which you immediately put against your bruised and swollen cheek. You flinched as the cold touched your skin.
Are you alright?
Your mother said with a worried look. People seem to ask you this question a lot lately.
Yeah, I'm fine, I guess.
You answered, not looking at her.
Don't worry, the police will catch him.
She tried to reassure you, but you knew that she was wrong. He isn't human, and if he can disappear whenever he wants, there's little chance of them seeing him. Your mother waited for you to answer, but when you didn't say anything, she sighed.
I don't know exactly who he is, what he wants, or why he's doing this, but this night, you were very brave. You risked your life to save your sister.
Your father and
That's the police. Okay.
Your
Yeah, that's the
father-
police.
Your father and I have a fact.
Sorry guys, I gotta reread that. I'm so sorry. I'm still getting mixed up.
Let me just read this one.
Okay. Rereading.
Okay.
Continue now.
Your mother waited for you to answer, but when you didn't say anything, she sighed.
I don't know exactly who he is, what he wants, or why he's doing this, but this night, you are very brave. You risked your life to save your sister. Your father and I hate the fact that you were put in this kind of situation, but you should know that we are both proud of you.
Those words made you smile, a feeling of satisfaction consuming you. She smiled back at you and gave you a light kiss on her face, on your forehead, before standing up and walking towards Emily. You watched them talking. Your little sister again had a smile on her face. You realized that you loved that smile, and that you wouldn't let some clown ruin it.
What? Why is he doing this?
You thought, with those powers, he could be doing something else, something good. Immediately remembering those superhero movies you used to watch. You frowned, remembering Jack's laughter and how his mood seemed to change in an instant. He isn't normal, you realized. He is insane. What other reason would there be for him to try to kill a little kid like Emily? You have to fight him somehow. You have to protect your sister, yourself, and your family. But how? Emily finished her conversation and started walking towards you. She sat beside you and said with a smile,
Thank you. If you didn't come, then I would be... It's alright.
You interrupted, not wanting to hear her say those words, dead or gone.
You don't have to thank me.
Emily looked through the window at the flashing red and blue lights.
They aren't going to catch him, are they? No, I don't think so. He's not human.
You sighed.
Shouldn't we tell them that? Warn them?
She asked.
No, they just think we're crazy. They are already skeptical because we lack the evidence.
You said, frowning. Your father approached you and sat beside Emily. How are you two feeling?
My throat still hurts, but besides that, I'm fine.
Emily said, smiling. He returned the smile and asked, Shadow Eyes, how about you?
I'm fine, just a little worried.
You lied. Your cheek is hurting really bad, and your head wants to explode. You are very tired, and all you want to do is sleep, but your mind is not letting you. Afraid that Jack will show up again. Oh, it's all right. The police are searching for him, and will be patrolling the streets. He won't dare to come here for some time. He smiled and got up, walking away from you.
I really hope that he is right.
Emily said, resting her head on your shoulder.
I just want to sleep.
You leaned your head on her brown hair.
Yeah, me too.
You whispered and closed your eye. Time lapse. You woke up, shaking. It's dark outside, and it's raining. How long was I asleep? You asked yourself, seeing that you are still in a sitting position, with Emily beside you. The lighting appeared, illuminating the living room. You started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you heard thunder. You noticed that you were still trembling. Why? You thought, it's not cold, and you are under a blanket that your parents probably covered you with. Then you realized that Emily is the one shaking, tightly gripping your arm.
Emily, what's wrong?
You whispered, turning to her. She straightened her grip.
He's here.
She mumbled.
What? Jack, he's here.
She said, pointing at the window behind you. You felt your heart skip a beat as you heard a faint singing.
All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all in good fun. Pop goes the weasel. Chapter 7.
That song. It was that nursery rhyme you hated. But the way he's singing it, slow, chilly, the way it seems to echo in your head, made you sick. Your heart wanted to jump out of your chest as you slowly turned around. Looking through the window, you squinted your eyes, but only saw darkness. A flash of lightning came illuminating the yard for a few seconds, but it was enough for you to see him. A colorless clown, standing in the rain, near the treehouse, and singing that creepy melody. His head is held down, and his messy, wet hair is hiding his face. The lightning passed, and you are left sitting there in darkness, with Emily still shaking and tightly gripping your arms. You started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whack! A hand with sharp nails hit the glass, as the thunder roared, making you almost jump out of your skin. The window is blurry because of all the raindrops, but you can make out.
Sorry.
Continuing. Make out the pale face and the chilling grin. Low chuckles can be heard, and the sound of claws scratching on the glass. You grabbed Emily's arm and headed for the door. He ran away from my parents once. Maybe he'll do it again, you thought as you exited the room. He ran towards the stairs, but you stopped dead in your tracks. There he was, in front of the stairs, and leaning against the wall, blocking your way.
I'm thinking of that one part.
Where do you think you're going? He asked with a big grin. You looked up at the stairs, hoping your parents will hear something and come to help you. Jack rolled his eyes in annoyance and said, with an impatient tone, "Don't tell me you're going to wake up your mommy and daddy so that I can have to kill them too." Emily tightened her grip on your arm and hid behind you.
Emily, go inside. Emily, go and hide.
You whispered to her, but she gripped your arm even tighter.
Emily, now.
You growled, and she let go. You can hear her sob behind you. She's crying, but you can't worry about her now. You must distract the clown, so that your sister has enough time to hide. Jack noticed Emily backing away and grinned. He opened his mouth to say something, but you cut him off.
Trying to kill a 7-year-old girl whose life has barely begun? Why?
He glanced up at you. He glanced up at your blue eyes, his ominous orbs glaring at you. He looked annoyed that you talked, but you just returned him a glare. He stared at you for a few moments, and then his lips curled into a big grin, his eyes glittering with amusement. "And why not?" You cringed at this response, causing him to burst into laughter. You glanced behind you, just to find Emily gone. "Thank God," you thought as you turned your gaze back to him. You almost screamed as you saw his face barely inches from yours. He still had a menacing smile, and his eyes were staring right into yours. You gulped as you took a few steps back, but he stepped towards you, reducing the distance. With each step back, he took a step forward until your back hit the wall. His wide smile formed into a frown, and his smiles stared angrily at yours. "I kill because I can. I kill because I like it. I kill because I love to feel the fear in my victim's heart. To see their small and meaningless life flash before their teary eyes. To hear their screams while I take away all their hopes and dreams. It's fucking hilarious!" he exclaimed, bursting into a hysterical laugh, lowering his head down into his black hair covering his face. "However," he continued, his laughter increasing and a menacing aurora forming around him, "I usually target only children. So you!" he shouted, bolting his head, his eyes so close to you that his dark orbs, filled of hatred, are the only things you're able to see. "You better not get involved if you know what's good for you," he whispered. A few moments passed, your body trembling and your eyes filled with tears. "Did I make myself clear?" he growled. You wanted to escape, to run, to scream, but you can't. You can't move. "Did I make myself clear?" he shouted, slamming his hand right next to your head. Your body moved against your will and frantically nodded your head. A smirk formed on his lips right before he disappeared, leaving you to stand there, shivering and crying. Your legs gave in and fell on your knees. "Emily?"
Sorry. Okay. Reading that part. Last part. Emily? Emily?
You whispered, your sight getting blurry from all the tears. You are on your hands and knees, supporting yourself. Your body is trembling badly, and it feels like you're going to black out at any moment. Taking a deep breath, you try to calm yourself down, but it didn't work. Your sister is going to be killed by an insane monster, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. You tried, you really did, but it was all for nothing. He will find her. You didn't even want to think what would happen. Wait a minute, he still needs to find her. There's still time, you thought, wiping away your tears and getting into a sitting position. Your tears stopped, but you are still shaking. It's cold, dark, and it's raining. If I could wake up my parents, you thought, but quickly discarded that idea. He said he'll kill my parents. I need to call the police. You blinked a few times, trying to see better in the dark. After a few moments, you got up on your feet and started walking towards the light switch, supporting yourself against the wall. You put your shaky finger on the light switch and pressed it. Nothing. You clicked it a few more times. Nothing.
No power.
You mumbled to yourself and began walking towards the living room. Your father left the baseball bat there, and you needed to go down and get it, in case Jack comes back for you. After you get some protection, you must get to your cell phone in order to call the police. It's still in my room, you frowned. I need to get up the stairs, into my room, and call the police, without Jack noticing. Realizing how impossible that sounds, you stopped in front of your living room, just in time to hear a voice calling. "Emily," the voice said. Come out, wherever you are." You knew to whom this voice belongs to, pressing your back against the wall. You took a deep breath and peeked inside. There he was, facing the window. "Open window, so you went outside, eh?" He thought out loud, frowning. A few seconds passed. A menacing smile spread across his lips. A low chuckle escaped his throat. "Don't tell me you went into the treehouse." and with that he disappeared into the thin air. Your blue eyes widened as you remembered Emily's favorite hiding place. He is wrong, you thought, you remembered, when the two of you used to play hide and seek. She was really good when playing with other kids, but you would always find her. She'd usually get out through the living room window and go into the house through the window. That could never really close. Through there she would enter the basement, you realized. And it's just a matter of time until he sees the open basement window. You quickly scanned the living room and saw the baseball bat. You ran and grabbed it, but even with the bat in your hands, you didn't feel any safer. You ran out of the room as quietly as possible, carefully not to wake up your parents or alert Jack. You stopped in front of the stairs. Now it's time to make my decision. Either go up and call the police, or go down into the basement and find Emily, you found. You're supposed to say that. Whatever. It would take the police some time to get there, and the clown would have enough time to find and kill Emily. Are we supposed to say that?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Just keep going.
And if you go get Emily first, maybe, just maybe, you'll be lucky and be able to get out and call the police before he notices. You skeptically looked towards the basement door. You felt your heart starting to pound even faster as you approached it, lifting the bat, ready to strike. One deep breath, and you pushed open the door, your heart stopping. Darkness, stairs covered in darkness. A lightning flashed, and for a moment the basement became as clear as day.
This is not a good idea,
you thought as you took a few steps down. A thunder roared, and you tightened your grip on the baseball bat. Listening intensely, you heard something. Soft sobs.
Emily?
You whispered. Nothing. No answer. You took a few more steps down into the darkness. Did you imagine it? You can distinctly hear the raindrops falling on the glass. You descended down and looked at the windows. As you expected, one was open.
Emily?
You call in a quiet tone.
Emily, it's me.
You felt a shiver run down your spine as you waited for the answer. It felt as if you were being watched. You looked around before returning your gaze toward a pile of boxes behind which Emily would usually hide.
Shadow eyes?
Your heart skipped a beat as you heard the soft and trembling voice of your sister.
Emily!
You almost screamed as you saw her head peek from behind the curtain. Lowering your bat, you ran towards her and hugged her tightly.
I'm so glad you're okay.
You whispered in her ear. Your stupidity comes to surprise me, but I should be thanking you. I never thought a little kid would be hiding in the dark and scary basement. You feel the blood freezing in your veins as you let go of your sister and turn around. You look immensely in the way you heard the voice. Jack stepped out of the darkness and began giggling, trying to contain his laughter. And you know what's the funniest thing is of all this? So bad. He waited a few seconds, but since you didn't answer, he continued with a big smile stretching across his lips. It's the fact that I would never have found her if you didn't show me. And with that, he burst into hysterical and uncontrollable laughter. It's your fault, he said through laughter, holding his stomach. He suddenly stopped and looked you in the eyes, excitement glittering in his. You literally doomed her. Ha, ha, ha. Started and began laughing again. He started and began laughing again. He stayed and began laughing. Oh, this is priceless, he exclaimed, widening his eyes before shutting them again and laughing uncontrollably.
What have I done?
You thought in terror.
Stay away from her!
You growled at him while lifting the baseball bat, trying to look fearsome. Or what? He asked, trying to stop his laughter. The bat? Well, at least you came prepared this time, he said after finally containing his laughter. Let's see what you've got.
I'm warning you.
You threatened him. You threatened with a shaky voice. but he just smirked and started walking towards you. You grip the bat even harder and rush towards him. Every step you take feels so hard and long. You look at him, his ominous dark orbs. Close your eyes and swing the bat. You expected him to block, to hit you, but the impact never came. You slowly opened your eyes to find him gone. "Missed me," a low, deep voice whispered somewhere behind you. You quickly turned around.
No!
You shouted, your eyes widening and filling with tears. He is standing right behind Emily, tightly gripping her shoulders. She is naked, shaking, and looking at you with her big blue eyes. Big blue and teary eyes.
Let her go!
You screamed at him, your sight getting blurry. He raised his eyebrows and chuckled. "Let her go? If I remember correctly, I told you to stay away from out of my way. But you didn't listen." He grinned and tilted his head to the side. "Now, you have to face the consequences," he stated, and dug his nails into Emily's shoulder. She flinched as blood came pouring out, staining his fingers and his shirt.
No, please don't hurt her, please.
You begged.
Don't hurt her.
"Hurt her? Oh, sugar, I'm not going to hurt her," he said with a sympathetic voice. "I'm going to torture her. And when I'm done, I'm come back for you."
No, please, don't do this. Just stop.
"I'm going to let you imagine all the screams, agony, and blood," he stated, ignoring your pleading. "See ya soon."
No, Emily.
You screamed, realizing he's going to disappear again. But this time with your little sister. You couldn't bear the thought of never seeing her again. You ran forward, extending your arms, trying to grab her wrists. You felt her cold hand and gripped it tightly. Everything started to spin, and you closed your eyes. Yanking her from his grasp, Emily screamed, and you opened your eyes. Something wasn't right. You looked at Jack's surprised eyes, and looked around. Your eyes wanted to pop out when you saw where you were standing. Amusement park. An abandoned amusement park. Everything is covered in rust, and half of the constructions weren't functional anymore. It seemed like you were teleported somewhere in the middle of it, without a single living soul in sight. You returned your gaze to the confused and shocked clown. "Well, aren't you a persistent one?" he said, still in a state of shock. "Well, no matter," Jack shrugged as his menacing smile returned. "It will be more fun this way. Get them." Who is he talking to? Who's he talking to? You froze in place, and Emily gripped your hand, digging her nails into your skin as you heard the faint singing.
All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased a weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all in good fun. Pop goes a weasel.
The chanting became louder and louder as you looked behind the clown in disbelief. Children. There are so many of them, but they look like zombies than children. Their skin is rotten and their eyes white. Some of them are missing limbs. Others have a gaping hole in their stomach. They are all singing and dragging themselves toward you. Jack started to laugh hysterically, and before you knew it, the kids were in front of him, getting closer and closer to you. You can smell their rotten flesh and skin, and it makes you want to puke. Jack tilted his head, a chilling and psychotic laughter escaping from his throat. He looked back at you, his eyes widened, frantic. "Run!"
Chapter 9.
He tightly gripped Emily's arm, turned around, and started running deeper into the amusement park. The moment your legs started moving, the chanting stopped, and running can be heard behind you. You speeded up, but Emily's small steps are slowing you down. You are dragging her, but your strength is running out, and you know you can't keep up with this for much longer. You don't want to turn around. You don't want to know how close the dead children are, but your curiosity got the better of you. You turned your head, still able to hear Jack's hysterical laughter, and saw children extending their small, bony hands. They are so close. One of them is trying to grab Emily's hair, his fingers just inches away from her head. You yanked her hand, causing her to trip and almost fall. You speeded up, frantically looking around for hiding places, realizing that you won't be able to outrun them while pulling Emily.
There!
You shouted and pulled Emily towards the tent. It is shaped like any other circus tent, but its colors have faded a long time ago, leaving it in black and white. It is old, dusty, and it seems like it will come crashing down at any moment. You're running out of breath, tripping over your own feet, and pulling Emily that is heavily panting and starting to slow down.
I can't.
She started, but you cut her off.
Just a little longer. You can't. I'm sorry. Repeat that.
Just do it.
Okay. Just a little longer. You can do this.
You said, reassuringly, but you weren't so sure in the strength of your own legs. You ran into the tent and quickly glanced around. The smell of rotten corpse hitting your nostrils. It's very dark inside. The stage is in the middle, and it seems that it is the center of the stage in some kind of pool. But you can't see what's inside. On the other side, you can see the exit. Around the stage, on each side of the tribunes, 5 or 6 rows of empty seats. You glanced behind. You saw a young girl, around Emily's age, entering the tent behind you. The others are falling behind, but getting closer and closer with every second.
What? Where? Emily, go and hide between the rows and wait there.
You whispered and pushed her towards your leg. She gave you a word and sad look, but did as you said and ran between the second and third row. Lowering her head, you watched as she disappeared into the darkness, and then turned around to face the girl in front of you. She's wearing a torn, dirty, and blood-stained pink shirt from her period, and blue jeans. Her hair is dark and messy. Her lower jaw is hanging to the side, like it's been violently pulled off. She is missing her left arm, and only a part of her bone can be seen coming out of her shoulder. Her white and hollow eyes looked at yours, and you could have sworn you saw a tear rolling down her cheek before she rushed towards you. Your pain is to distract the zombie children, lose them in the amusement park, and then come back here for Emily so you can sneak out. It isn't the greatest plan, and you know that. But there is no way you can outrun these kids while Emily is slowing you down. You needed to do this for her and yourself. You grabbed your bat with both hands and waited for the girl to come close enough. You looked at her injured and rotten face. Even though her body is completely destroyed, she's still a little girl. How can I hit a little girl? Time seems to slow down. You lifted your arms. You closed your eyes and swung the bat. You can feel as the wood hit the flesh of the little girl. You heard her scream, and a soft thud as her body hit the ground. Upon opening your eyes, you see the other children are at the entrance of the tent. The girl is on the ground, next to your feet. You turned around and ran, but her fragile hand grabbed your ankle, causing you to halt. You turned around, tears in your face. You don't want to hurt her, not anymore.
Let go,
you said, while lifting your bat, ready for another strike. She just looked at you with those shallow, sad eyes.
I'm sorry,
you whispered, and swung the bat. The bones in her hand cracked. She let out a large shriek upon impact and released your leg. You quickly turned and started running toward the center of the stage, not wanting to look at the broken girl. You can hear the running sounds of feet. That's all you hear. Your sight is blurry from the tears. How could you hit that fragile little girl? She may be dead, but it's not her fault. Did Jack do that to her? But he do the same. Did he do the same to all these children? Is he planning to do the same to your sister? You and your sister? All these questions are running through your head, and you almost didn't notice that you are nearing a hole in the middle of the tent. You stopped just in time to fall in. The strong smell of decomposing flesh is even stronger here, and you dreaded to look inside. Bodies. Dead bodies. The pit is deep, dark, and on the bottom you can see them. You frowned as you tried not to breathe in the horrible smell. You looked around you for a way to bypass it. Too late. The children have surrounded you. There is no way to escape, and there is too much of them for you to fight your way through. You looked at the other side of the hole, towards the exit. A small light can be seen shining through, and it seems like your only way out. But for you to get there, you'll need to bypass the hole, and now it seems the only way is to jump across it. Looking at it, you estimated the gap is about 5 foot. You look down and realized that if you fall, you'll probably break your bones, and you won't be able to get out. There's no other way. You took the deep breath, stepped back, and jumped. The time seemed to stop as you looked at the other side and realized that you wouldn't make it. You won't make it.
No!
You screamed and extended your arms. The bat flew out of your grasp and rolled toward the exit as you gripped the edge with your fingers. You're hanging on the edge, the smell of rotten corpses beneath you stronger than ever. You struggle to lift yourself up, but your weight is getting heavier and heavier, pulling you down. Your hand is starting to hurt, and your fingers curled as you hang on the edge that is now separating you, your life, from your death. A tear ran down your cheeks as you finally let go.
Chapter 10, ending of part 2. Here we go.
A tear ran down from your cheek as you let go. You never knew it would end like this. You wanted to hug your parents once more, to tell your sister that you love her. There are so many things that you wanted to do, but now they seem so far away, so distant, so impossible. You close your eyes, waiting for impact. It will hurt.
It's okay. It's okay.
Shit.
It will hurt.
You thought. You don't want to feel the pain. You don't want to die. Not yet. You feel something under the fingertips of your right hand. Pain passes through your arm as it's stretched. Something is tightly gripping your wrist, preventing you from falling. You opened your eyes and looked up. Over the edge of the hole, a silhouette is leaning and tightly gripping your arm. You can't see very well, but there is no mistaking the hollow white eyes. It's one of the zombie children. It looks like 12 or 13-year-old boy, with blonde, messy, shoulder-length hair.
Why is he helping me?
You thought, but you didn't care at the moment, and grabbed his hand. He began pulling you up with a surprising strength. Your arm is hurting badly, but in a few seconds you grab the edge of the pit, where you left your hand and with your left hand and pulled yourself up. You collapsed on the ground from exhaustion, breathing heavily. You just wanted to rest, but the boy yanked your hand and started dragging you towards the exit. You stumbled to your feet and ran behind him. He is still holding your wrist, his skin cold and wrinkled, and he is surprisingly fast. You can barely keep up with the other zombies. Children are chasing. Barely keep up. The other zombie children are chasing you and trying to grab you. You're getting closer and closer to the exit, and the bright light of the day is washing over your skin. You bent down and grabbed the baseball bat with your free hand before exiting the tent. The light blinded you for a few seconds, but you continued running, desperately trying not to trip and fall. Your savior seems to have no consideration for the fact that you can't keep up with him. You started running faster.
Slow down!
He shouted, grasping for air as your lungs burned. He turned his head and looked at you, brown at your blue orbs. You can't understand what he's thinking. His face is expressionless and hollow, just like his eyes. His look a sharp turn to the left, causing you to fall down. The blonde boy halted and rushed towards you, helping you up. From behind him, out of nowhere, another zombie his age appeared. He has an angry expression on his face as he saw the two of you and rushed forward.
Watch out!
You screamed, not knowing what else to do. Before you knew it, your savior grabbed a bat from your hand and turned around to face his attacker. He lifted his hand and swung the bat towards the boy's head. Upon impact, you heard a loud crack of the boy's limp body fall on the ground motionless. You looked in shock at the blonde boy that saved your life twice already. Why is he doing this? You thought as you... He thought... Why are you doing this? You thought as he handed you the now blood-stained bat. You took it, still confused. How can he have enough strength to knock somebody out? He turned around and pointed at the old building before he took your hand again and started running toward it. You looked a quick glance and saw that the jailed children aren't chasing you anymore. They are nowhere in sight. You felt relief wash over you as you looked ahead again. You are still having problems to keep up with your blonde savior, but you are glad that he slowed down a bit. Looking up, you scan the building you were running toward. It is a big, 2 stories, run-down house that looks like a hotel that hasn't been used in decades.
Why are we going there?
You asked in a quiet tone, but he just continued dragging you without answering. Can he talk at all? You asked yourself, looking at the dirty blonde hair of the boy in front of you. Only now have you had the time to take a good look at him. He is wearing a torn black t-shirt and ripped dark blue jeans. Around his neck is a silver necklace with a small silver violin. His skin isn't as rotten as the skin of the other kids, and it's a bit grayish. You came to the entrance of the hotel, and he slowly pushed the door open. You stepped into a big lobby. To your left and right are 2 closed doors. In front is an old wooden desk, and on each side of the desk are stairs. On its left are stairs that go up, and on its right are stairs that go down into the dark basement. The blonde boy started pulling you towards the right stairs. You followed, but then questions started going through your head.
Where are we going? What is he thinking me? Is he going to kill me? But why did he save me? So, why did he save me then?
Your eyes widened. Your body started trembling in fear.
Is he leading me to Jack? Where are we going?
You asked, trying to sound calm. He didn't answer. You stopped, but he yanked your hand, dragging you towards the basement.
Answer me!
You yelled, but the boy again didn't say anything. You came to the stairs as he took a step down. You didn't want to go down there. You lifted the bat and hit the boy's hand. He released your wrist and turned to face you. Clearly surprised, you turned around and started running. He reached his hand to grab you, but you took a sharp turn and ran towards the other stairs. You can hear the rushing sounds of his footsteps as you ascend. Once on top, you turned left and ran through the long hallway. On your left and right are old wooden doors. The hallway seemed very long, and you were glad when you saw the end. That is dividing in 2 ways, one left and one right. You speed up, desperately trying to lose your pursuer, but stopped, dead in your tracks. You could hear it, the faint singing.
All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all good fun. Pop goes the weasel.
You watched in horror as the dead girl appeared from behind the corner. You stand there, frozen in fear. You're trapped. Before the girl had that chance to even see you, you felt someone pushing you into one of the rooms. You wanted to scream, but a hand covered your mouth. You were shoved into a room and you turned around with your bat raised, ready to strike. You saw the blonde boy closing the door behind him and raising his hands, like he was surrendering. You looked at him, still panting. He, on the other hand, didn't look tired at all. He lifted his finger to his mouth, motionless, motioning you to motioning you to be silent. You nodded your head and lowered the bat. You were trying to stop your body from trembling as you listened to the faint singing getting further away. The boy looked at you. With his white, hollow eyes, you glared at him, not wanting to break eye contact. He raised his hand like he was trying to tell you to stay there. Stay there. He turned around and exited the room. You looked at him leaving, wondering if you should listen to him or make a break for it. Looking around the room, you realize that you are standing in a small bedroom. There isn't much in it. One bed, table, and a closet. You cautiously walk towards the bed that is just beside the window and sit on it. 5 minutes later, you are walking across the room, battling with yourself.
Why isn't he here yet? Did he leave me? Did he go and tell Jack my location? Is he planning to hurt me? Where's Emily? Is she alright? Is she still in the tent? Should I go back for her? Wait for the zombie boy?
He did save me 3 times. At least I can wait here for a few minutes. All those thoughts were through your head as you nervously walked across the room. You stopped and heard footsteps approaching you. While waiting here, you heard footsteps and the faint singing a few times. But not this. Determined and fast. The doorknob twisted and in the room stepped your blonde savior. He closed the door and turned towards you, with a small smile on his lips. You noticed that he was carrying something. It was small and it could fit in his bony hands. He approached you and handed you the object. In curiosity, you curiously took it and examined it. It looked like a box. It was painted. Its paint had faded away, but you could still distinguish the colors that were once decorated. You opened the top and saw it's empty.
Why did you give me this?
You asked, closing the box. Then you saw the barely visible letters.
Laughing Jack in a box.
You read it out loud.
Well, guys, that's the end for part 2. Hopefully you guys are ready for the next part next Friday. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it, and leave a comment and a like and subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, see ya.